As you know, we're in the heart of a multi-video series here where I opened 5 live trades, all of them using different methods of shorting the volatility ETP called VXX. Now, this is the VXX since it launched in January 2009, and obviously it's completely cratered in the last 13 years. It's essentially an insurance product. Structurally, it's designed to go down long term, but potentially provide traders with some convex hedging over shorter periods of time. It's always a trade-off, right? There's definitely profit to be made long term for anybody on the short side of VXX. But there's also massive risk out there because it can spike up violently when the market crashes. That's why it's so important to know how to structure your trades correctly. We're trying to find the best risk-reward ratio so that we can make a nice profit long term, but also not blow up our accounts when things go badly. Because at some point, they will go badly. Today, we're going to use our live VXX trades to show the difference between going short the VXX directly versus going long an inverse product called the SVIX. Comment down below which one of these do you think is better, short VXX or long the SVIX? Let's find out. So first, let me show you how the baseline trade has performed since we opened it. This is the VXX in the last 2 months, and I opened my live trades for that initial video right here on May 23rd. That was just a couple weeks ago, and we can see the VXX has plummeted since then. It's actually down about 20% in the last 2 weeks. So this is what the short VXX trade looks like right now. We started at 35.55 a few weeks ago. And remember, we used our knowledge of the long-term VXX decay factor, and we calculated that it could potentially get down to $25 after several months. That would be to here. And it's already getting pretty close. It's down to $28.50. So some people might be thinking, wow, what an awesome trade, right? It's up 20% in just 2 weeks. Obviously, we should all be just shorting the VXX. It's easy money. Slow down there because there are many risks to shorting volatility ETPs directly. Let me just play a short clip here reminding you of all those dangers. And then I'm going to tell you a really easy way where you can solve all of these problems by just using a different ETF. I don't ever short the volatility ETPs directly. First, there's big fees involved because you're borrowing shares to short, and it's not cheap. This is many multiples more expensive than standard trade fees for some of the other option trades, so this is always a major headwind. Second, they're not always available to borrow. You might think you've got a great trade setup that you want to jump in on, but if there's no shares to borrow, then what does it matter? Third, you can have your shares called away on you at any time, so you're not really in control of your own trade. Plus, you should know that the time where they are most likely to get called away on you is when you least want them to be. Probably it's going to be when you're doing damage control on a trade that isn't going well, and you might want a little extra time to fix your trade, but you're not going to be able to because the shares get called away on you. And lastly, and probably the biggest reason here, when you short shares, you have unlimited loss. We're talking about volatility ETFs here. They can spike up hundreds of percent, maybe 1,500, 2,000% if you're talking about the UVXY. Why on earth would anybody trade unlimited loss when one flash crash will wipe out your portfolio? Now, I'm not trying to stop you from making money shorting volatility. Quite the opposite. I've been making short volatility content for all of you for over 13 years now. I'm only trying to help you structure your trades in a safer way so you don't get caught out in the rain without an umbrella. So those 4 problems are all the reasons why you should never short the shares directly. But like I said, there is a way to solve all 4 of those problems with one easy substitution. The SVIX is an inverse volatility ETF to the VXX on a daily rebalancing basis. This chart is dated from May 23rd, which was the day that I initially opened all my live trades. The light blue line is the short VXX position, and we can see it's down about 20%. The dark blue line is the long SVIX position, which is the inverse, and that one is up 24% over the same time period. And remember, this doesn't even include the fees to borrow the short VXX shares. So long SVIX has outperformed short VXX. Going back to our live trades, here is the short VXX position. And remember, it's up about 20% since we started. Again, that's not including borrowing fees. But here is our live long SVIX position, which was opened on the same day. Remember, I tried to scale all the trades to about $1,000 so we can compare them all. It's currently up $231, which means the profit here is 23.5%. It's about 4% higher than shorting the VXX directly. But it's even better than that, right? Remember those 4 reasons why shorting the VXX directly was such a bad idea. Cost money to short, they're not always available, they can get called called away on you at any time. And of course, when you short shares, you have unlimited loss, which might come back to bite you someday if there's a flash crash or a cyber attack. The inverse product, the SVIX, doesn't cost any money to borrow. You're buying the shares. And the shares are always available for you anytime you want. You're obviously always in control of shares that you own. And while it wouldn't be much fun, technically speaking, the maximum loss is only 100% if the worst case scenario happened. No doubt, short VXX directly has done well for me the last few weeks. It's up 20%. But long SVIX is up almost 24%. And this trade solves all the major issues involved in shorting stocks and ETFs. Now, obviously, there are even better ways to short volatility. That's where all the defined risk options come in: iron condors, verticals, butterflies, diagonals, stock replacement. Plus, there are ways to apply additional volatility filters and tactically time the market on both the long and the short side. But today we're just comparing short VXX to long SVIX. And I don't think it takes a genius to see that one of these is clearly the superior choice. Now, if you've been shorting volatility profitably for 10 or 15 years, I'm not going to argue with you about your system. But if you've only been at this a few years, you might want to heed my warnings on this one. Undefined risk is just not a good idea, especially because it comes with all those other problems as well. In my opinion, just make this a general rule: no shorting volatility ETPs directly, full stop. The SVIX is safer and less problematic to trade, and there's a lot of defined risk option strategies that are even better. Make sure you subscribe to the channel down below because I'm going to do many more short volatility videos that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching. So for an extensive volatility metrics dashboard updated daily, and to see all of the live trades for our tactical rotation and option strategies, click this link right here and claim your free trial to the VTS community. You're always welcome to join us anytime. See you next time.